So Joe Rogan just entered the chat and he is team Justin Baldoni. So I came across a news article, different people are posting it on X all over the place, that Joe Rogan is now on the side of Justin Baldoni. And I have that clip here for you, but it's so funny. I actually went to Ryan's X account. If you guys, most of you do know, but if you don't, I was blocked by Ryan Reynolds. Yes. Predator Pool himself blocked me. I don't know when he blocked me. I don't know if it's when I exposed on X what happened with his daughter in Deadpool and that abhorrent things that they made her do. It's just disgusting. But as more and more evidence has come out, you're seeing more people are siding with Justin Baldoni. I don't know how you can look at the evidence, how you can look at the facts of the case and side with Blake and Ryan, unless you have some pro-feminist agenda that is actually not feminist. So I don't want to disparage anyone who is, or you may be left or you may be right watching this. You guys know I don't make this political. I know that Joe Rogan may be a political figure, but when I talk about being feminist, I mean to the point of delirium, to the point of misandrous, to the point where content creators, as you guys have seen, are being criticized as misogynistic just because we don't believe Blake Lively. I think there's a point, and I think even feminists will agree, that you can't just believe someone because they make accusations, especially once the evidence shows that it's a bunch of fabrication and lies. And then you see the control that she took over the movie. And I just don't see how any of these reporters are coming to that conclusion other than they are just trying to meet some type of agenda. And it's absolutely absurd and it's not going to work. Now, I want to play this clip, but I just want to give a disclaimer because, again, I do not want to make this channel in any way political. So, guys, please try to keep any political things. Let's just keep it on the topic of this case and be encouraged that we have someone like Joe Rogan, who is the biggest podcaster in the world, who has a huge male audience. In fact, this actual post says it. I'm going to make it little smaller so you guys can see it. So this is actually someone replying in Dick Pool's X account. I could not even remember his name for a second. I think I was trying to figure out if I want to say Predator Pool, Dick Pool, Douche Pool, who knows. But it says, Joe Rogan has quite a few followers, right? Most are men. Spotify, the Joe Rogan Experience has 14.5 million followers on Spotify, significantly outperforming other podcasts on the platform. On YouTube, he has 16.4 million subscribers. And on Instagram, he has 18.9 million followers. But a lot of times those numbers, like the people who listen, exceed those numbers, far exceed those numbers. So we don't have a real count. I think there's some way to find those metrics, but understand, I feel as though there are men who are reporting on this case, like Dave Neal, of course, and Andy Signor over at Popcorn Planet. We have Zach Peter. There's a number of guys who are speaking up about this, but by and large, I would say it's mostly women. And men haven't really entered the chat in the way that I think if they understood the merits of this case, they understood the false allegations of sexual harassment, if they understood all of the details and how she's using it to assert control over Justin Baldoni, destroy his life. Essentially, it was destroying his family, his health, and everything else. I think more men would be more outraged than the women are. But right now, women, by and large, are holding this. But this can turn the tides. So let's just focus on that. And I think this is an amazing support that Justin is now getting from Joe Rogan on this case. And it's going to continue to get ugly as more things come out.
Baldoni, Blake Lively thing.
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation. And Ryan.
I'm going to rewind it so you can hear it.
Baldoni, Blake Lively thing.
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation. And Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to fucking ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement.
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise.
They're fucked.
The whole thing's crazy.
They're fucked.
And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But
He
that's what
should.
it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right,
Yeah.
he did it for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right,
Dude,
enough.
he posted the receipts.
Oh,
He's like, oh,
receipts are
remember our
crazy.
text exchange? Bah, bah,
How about she
bah,
told
bah.
him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding,
The fun
and then
ass.
part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts
Because no one's ever done it. Because everyone just bows
because everyone's
down.
scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, don't they're the queen?
Oh,
Queen
yeah.
of the king.
So there you see it there. And then the conversation continues, but I can't play too much of Joe Rogan because the system will copyright. It's not Joe Rogan himself, but the system will do it. But I want to take you and show you this. I don't even know how I got to this point. I just somehow, look, this is what people are posting and trolling Van City Reynolds, who has blocked me. So I can still view his stuff. I just can't post anything. You see, guys, it's all grayed out. Look at that. My feelings are really hurt. Imagine all the trolling he gets, all the trolling he does. He's all the horrible jokes and things that he does, and he's saying Justin Baldoni has thin skin, but he blocks little old me. I'm still confused, guys. I don't know if there's a way to trace back when somebody blocked you, but I would love to find out when this happened. Okay, so then he's like posting all this stuff. So the main thing he posted, I don't know why I jumped down. It says, okay, this is too much, boy. A decade really zips by. Deadpool started filming 10 years ago. Nobody cares. So then he's posting all this extra stuff. Look what's Anna, me and her go back and forth. She's great. She put, watch your wife bite another man's lip. That's cool and everything. But what we really want to know is, why do you do that to Justin Baldoni? So there's a lot of guys in here, okay? This is 14 years of Deadpool, man. Okay, nothing to do with that. Blake Lively's dragging hard at work, all the laughing emojis. Okay, let me see. We still don't like you. Should have included your intimacy coordinator. All right, and then there are some people who are fans. And then let's keep going. All that money earned on the line for all the cases filed against for stealing another man's movie. Nice. And the person put, what? with Justin and Blake. Madman uploads his entire film to Twitter. And someone said, have you ever experienced living alone? I don't even want to know what that is. You're about to make Justin Baldoni rich with all that lovely Deadpool and aviation gin money. Deadpool rocks. You and your wife, however, are complete garbage humans. I love Deadpool right up until you and your wife showed your true colors. The whole nice pool thing made my skin crawl with high school bully rage. I own a comic book shop and have dismantled our entire Deadpool section. We keep it in the basement now, like they kept Justin Baldoni in the basement for the premiere. Go shite yourself. So over Ryan Reynolds. Enjoy it while it lasts, my good man. Cancel culture is sneaking up on you. No one cares anymore. Sorry. Dude, I watched your wife's movie. It ends with us. And all I can say is she looked like oh my God. Okay. This is just, they're getting ugly, guys. You ruined all the movies that you starred in by being such a bad person. No more Free Guy. Definitely, maybe, or if, because of how you intended to destroy Justin Baldoni. Can't even stomach a Mint Mobile commercial. All right. So it says, like, too bad you've been revealed as a trash human and married to one too. And you use the character for your jealousy revenge. Before knowing about the nice pool character bullying, I felt that the ridicule and cruel death was too much. Sadly, you both buried your careers, as in that movie you filmed a decade ago. Woo! They are getting ugly. Then there's some account says, I find retards. I don't agree with that language, but it says, I found retard, and someone put, found one for you. Maximum Effort, which is his marketing company, to the courtroom. It says, I'm so glad you finished DP3 before Deadpool 3 before destroying your career. Thanks for not leaving anything at all to be concerned about with your future. For all of the DP3 fans, you can disappear now. And Deadpool fans are done with Ryan Reynolds. And now with Joe Rogan, like I said, entering the chat, because a lot of this was on the 21st. Today is the 25th. So with that happening on the 21st, and now the more things have come out since then, more and more is building up. He already was losing support. He's losing even more now, and it is piling on. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Everything they thought would happen to Justin Baldoni is now happening to them. And I couldn't be happier. And just to, you know what, let me show you this one last thing. So I went over to see if I could go into any of his like stuff, like his Mint Mobile, his Aviation Gen. Aviation Gen, they've blocked anybody from anything. There, it's protected now. It's a private account, even though it's a public company. They sell Gen. With Ryan Reynolds sitting right there, they have had to private their account. So I went through that, and then I went to Mint Mobile. Look what I posted, y'all, because I'm messy. I want to see if they block me. I put, why you block me, Ryan? Was it something I said? And I have all the crying faces. And then I post like my original post. Then I put stand on business predator pool. And this is the whole thing about his daughter that I posted on X. If you guys aren't following me on X, I have a lot of fun over there. I cut up, we act up, we do a lot. Now, I want to talk about just really quickly the video I did earlier and the premise that I had about, basically what Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Freeman, can use against Blake Lively, potentially to dismiss her case, but it's certainly to use it as a defense. Now, one caveat in there that I want to go back, and I'm gonna do like an amended video where I say, because she was and I was doing it off the basis of the other video I was building my premise on. But one of the things is I learned from some lawyers who hit me up was that Blake Lively, even though she was an employee of her own company, she wasn't an employee of Wayfair or It Ends With Us LLC. She was a contractor. She still has employee protections, but there's a caveat. Like, we have to dig through the weeds with it, but there's another layer to it. She got a PGA credit, and she essentially took control of the movie. She fired people. She brought in her own team. She did all types of things. She blocked Justin Baldoni from seeing footage, from finishing the movie. She told the composer that she brought in when the other one was fired and she wanted let go, allegedly because Taylor Swift wanted him let go. We don't know yet until we get into discovery. With that, he said in an interview that she basically called him and said that she has moved into the role of taking control of the movie and finishing it and doing the whole movie. So with her having a PGA credit, her taking control of it, and also in her 17-point thing where she used, which to me is just absolutely ridiculous. But one of the things that she talked about in point 10 was retaliatory, I can't say that word, retaliatory things that anything that she deemed as retaliatory that she could then go immediately to sue them. Even though she's saying that there was all this harassment, there was no evidence of it. She just keeps alleging it. Even in that meeting, no one agreed that there was any harassment happening. So when she took that over, one of the points that she was, some of the points she was saying that was retaliatory was that a change in attitude, sarcasm, if there was any negative energy or negative attitudes, that she could control who was essential personnel that could see any tapes or things like that, who could come into the editing room, essentially placing herself as an employer versus being an employee. So the question is, was she actually an employer? And it gets muddy here with the California laws, what she filed under, because if she was actually an employer and she could fire people, that she had control over the movie, she could keep Justin Baldoni, she can control even his speech, even where he went, what scenes he showed up for, what if he could even write a scene. She took full control. Okay, and used manipulation tactics in order to get there, but she ended up getting her PGA credit And it's put out there this was her producerial debut, even though I believe that was changed from directorial debut, which that language was in a previous article in the Hollywood Reporter. And then I found that like on MSN, but then when I would look back at the Hollywood Reporter, it says producerial, but then where it kind of blasted out to the bots, it said directorial debut. So there's some dispute with that. But either way, she was in a position of employer and not employee. So that greatly reduces any claims that she now wants to try to make because she was in authority. And I would dare say authority based on the evidence over Justin Baldoni, even her own 17-point thing that she has in her complaint, that she asserted control on nearly every part of this movie. So that is where the discrepancy is coming in, is was she really an employee? Even though she was a contractor, she can still be considered that, or based on her role, based on her credit, based on what her actions, based on the position she said she moved into, she become an employer. And my belief is that she did. So we've got to dig into the weeds with that. I'm going to kind of do like an amended lawsuit. I'm going to do an amended video to that to add that in, because this is a moving target, guys. I'm a layperson. Most likely you guys are. We are not attorneys. There are some attorneys looking at it. Although I've been disappointed because I feel like LawTube by and large has not been picking this up. And this is a huge case. And it's just really weird to me that like this is like the case of the century. This is bigger than Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, in my opinion, especially when you look at all the players involved in studios and things. Like this is upending Hollywood. So why aren't they covering as much with as much fervor as I would say just regular content creators are? I don't know. There's a lot of criminal cases going on, so maybe they just don't have interest in it. But I would think a lot of the people who covered the whole Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard would jump right on it. But who knows? I don't know what's going on. But I only say that not to criticize, but we need y'all opinions. We need your legal expertise in this entire case. Please, guys, please start covering this more. I know there's some lawyers that are starting to cover it, but I don't think we can ever exhaust ourselves with the amount of lawyers that can look at this case and give us different perspectives and help some of us lay people correct things when we make mistakes or add clarification or have conversations with regular people so we can understand this better. So I just wanted to put that out there. Please, LawTube, jump on this. We need you. So with that, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You don't want to miss any of my updates, as well as, sorry, guys, it stopped. I know this looks weird. I'll just keep this up here. That's my bragging rights. As well as make sure you follow me on social media, including X, because you don't want to miss out on the party. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one.